Are you stuck for ideas with a guitar? Check this out. Hi, Sam from Guitar Village here. We thought we'd put together a video with some different open tunings and some drop tunings as well, just to give you a fresh take on the guitar and maybe help get you out of a playing rut. We do have chapters below so you can skip ahead to see some of the tunings, but make sure you stick around to the end to see some of the weirder ones. So now we're going to take a look at DADGAD tuning. As the name suggests, the guitar is tuned DAD-GAD. So the strings to think about when you're doing this, you have the low E string tunes down a step to D. The next three strings are the same, just the same as standard tuning, so we've got D, A, D, G. The top two strings we then tune down a step as well, so we have A and D. I think when you play this, it really throws you because you haven't got any of the normal shapes that you have in standard tuning, so you have to think about it or just kind of pop luck it and just play around and see what works. The first song that comes to mind when I think about DADGAD is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin. For Jimmy Page, he was using a Les Paul. I thought I would use a Les Paul. I've chosen this. This is one of the custom shop Murphy Lab ultra light age Les Pauls. It looks great. It's pretty light. The color looks really cool as well. It's pretty dark around the edge, you know, not too light in the middle, so it's quite a subtle looking burst in some ways. The guitar is great to play, the neck profile is really cool. They've come a long way from the early reissues, and I think most players are going to find this feels great for them. First up in our weird tunings, I would say, we have open G. It's used by lots of players. The way to tune it is like this. So you start off with a low D, you move up to G, you then repeat the same tuning on the next two strings but an octave higher. So we have D again, G again, then for the B string, keep that as it is, so just tune to B. And then last string, the high E string, is tuned to D. Here's how it sounds. What I really like about this tuning is that instantly it sounds happy. Straight away as well, it reminds me of kind of Keith Richards style playing. For this example, I chose out this as well. This is a Fender Custom Shop 51 Telecaster. It's in the Journeyman finish. It's in aged natural. It's got great flame on it and it's very much like Macorba. What I think is quite cool with this guitar as well is that with the humbucker in there, you get something that's, again, a bit fatter, kind of like doing the lower tunings adds in. And then you've still got the traditional kind of telly bridge position as well. So you've got something that's kind of almost jazzy to almost rock and roll. So now now we're going to take a look at open E tuning. This is not too weird in terms of what you have to actually do to get the tuning. All you have to do is picture in your head is standard tuning, but you're holding an open E chord. So you've got your low E string stays the same. Does the top two strings, the B and the E. So they're standard. It's the A string, you tune it up to a B. The D string goes up to an E, and then the G goes to G sharp. I think it's a cool tuning in the sense that you don't actually have to do much with the left hand, but you can just play major chords with one finger. This is very popular with slide players as well because of that. It just means that you've got tons of notes that will work together all on one fret. The song that comes to mind when I think of open E tuning is Little Martha. It's a great song by the Allman Brothers. I thought I would use this. This is one of the Gibson custom shop ES335s. It's a 64 reissue in the cherry finish. It looks great. The pickups sound incredible. They're the Memphis Historic specs. And the neck profiles on these, just like with the last Les Paul we used, the Murphy Lab one, they're getting so spot on now with some of the vintage guitars we've had in. It's hard to tell the difference. Okay, so the next two tunings are way too complex for me, so I'm going to hand you over to Jack, the cameraman, and he's going to explain them. I will warn you, he does have a mustache. Clack.
Okay, are we ready? Okay, so now we're looking at one of my favourite tunings. We're looking at DAEAC sharp E. It's a bit of a weird one because it's kind of like the open G we were looking at earlier, except it's got a D in the lower string in this tuning, so it's kind of an A add 4 tuning. So the tuning is D, A, E, A, C sharp, and E. Now, it might be a bit of a scary one for some people because if you're using heavier gauge strings, you're going to have to tune up the D, G and B strings up a step. So I'd recommend probably using something like 9s or 10s. They're going to do you just right on this. So a lot of my favourite bands are using this tuning, so we got bands like Free Throw, Tiny Moving Parts, and they are using mainly a Telecaster. So I thought it kind of made sense to use a Telecaster for this. We are using a Fender custom Telecaster in this kind of aged sunburst. We have some nice relicking around here and some binding around the body, and we've also got this nice kind of flamey neck on here. Plays great and it sounds great as well. Next up, we are looking at probably one of the weirdest tunings in the list. We're looking at FACGCE. So you might notice about this tuning that there's kind of nothing like standard tuning in there in terms of the relationship between the strings. So any of your normal kind of chord shapes aren't going to work in this tuning. So from the low string, we are going F, A, C, G, C, and then E. A lot of the bands that I like, particularly one, American Football, a band that use this tuning a lot. Their track Never Meant is probably the most iconic track that is written in this tuning. And yeah, just a really nice kind of nostalgic sounding tuning overall. I would kind of say this is, I mean, it's based around an F major 9. So if we were to play all the strings, it would play an F major 9. But I would probably use this more in a C major kind of scale with a kind of Lydian modal twist there. So we've got C major if we just fret the 3rd fret on the A string there. The guitar I decided to go for this was the Troy Van Leeuwen signature Jazzmaster. It's in this really nice copper age finish here. It's more of a vintage style Jazzmaster. As you can see, we've got the maple fretboard here with these big block inlays and the binding all around the neck there. Really cool looking guitar and a really nice sounding guitar as well.
Okay, so the last of our tunings and the one you've all been waiting for. With this, we're going to keep it as standard tuning across the guitar, but only standard relative to the other strings. For a long time, we've been using 440 as our reference point for hertz at A. With this one, we are going to try using 415, the Baroque style setup, and we're going to use 432, which has been used a lot recently as people find it's a bit more organic sounding. For this example, I am going to be using this USA Gibson Les Paul Special. This is a reissue style guitar, but it's not out the custom shop, so it's just out of USA, so it means it's a lot cheaper. And I think actually with the US line, they're getting really accurate with not just the neck profiles, but the overall look and vibe of the guitar. Okay, so there was 440, 432 and 415 hertz tunings. I'm not sure I could really tell the difference between 440 and 432. I mean, there is a difference, but it is very subtle. The 415, however, was much lower, and in fact, that is E-flat standard tuning pretty much. All the gear that we used in this will be in the description below. You'll have links to it, so you can check it out more in depth if you want to. If you have a particular tuning you like, please comment below. Let us know what you're using. It'd be great to find out. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel as we're going to be putting new videos up every week, and also give us a thumbs up. Are you stuck in a playing rut? You need to check this video out. Are you stuck for ideas with the guitar? Check this out.